Archbishop Alexander Golitzin is the Bishop of Dallas, the South, in the Bulgarian Diocese. He is also a graduate of Oxford University, where he wrote his monumental doctoral dissertation on St. Dionysius the Areopagite. Archbishop Alexander is a wonderful archpastor, and he's, as you'll see, a fine scholar. So without further ado, I hope you'll enjoy this episode from my interview with His Eminence Archbishop Alexander Golitzin.
Well, I think our first issue, and perhaps the most salient one, arises from the use of the word jurisdiction, which, as the late Father Alexander Schmemann was fond of pointing out repeatedly, is not an especially Orthodox word, and speaks for an anomaly in Orthodox Christian life, the anomaly of overlapping episcopal oversights. At present there are, I forget, 5 or 6 different Orthodox bishops of Chicago, at least that many for New York. All of them, or almost all of them, in communion with each other regularly. This fact, coupled with the fact that the Orthodox in the New World are few. We don't know how many, maybe a million. The usual figures given are more, but those are optimistic at the least. In a country, the United States, of over 300 million, this does not speak well for a possible future, especially given that the culture in which we find ourselves embedded is militantly assimilative in its long-standing tendencies, Protestant in its religious formation, although that's increasingly not much to the fore, and to have us then furthermore scattered among ourselves doesn't speak very well for our the long-term question of our survival. I suppose there'll always be some here. There'll always be people sailing across the water. There'll always be Greek sailors docking in New York, so there'll always be a church or two. But as for a living community rooted in the American reality, that is not a given. And unless that question is solved in a way consistent with the traditional practice summed up in the saying, one bishop, one city, again, I don't see our future as much of a future. Theologically, because that's my area, I can't speak much to the point about pastoral issues, for all that I'm a bishop. I was not a parish priest more than a year or two. But I would say, given the fact of that Protestant background, which suffuses our culture in different ways, that our theological institutions should give much more attention to Scripture. This shouldn't be that difficult. But it's an aspect which is largely neglected in Orthodox theological thought, and this again throughout the Orthodox ecumeny. We talk happily about the fathers, We talk happily about all kinds of Greek terms, legitimate theological terms derived from the Fathers. We even talk happily about mysticism and the lot. But until we address the roots of all these things, in the revelation to Israel and the apostles, I don't think we're going to get very far. And it's a little frustrating, because those things are clearly there. Our liturgy, our fathers are suffused, are soaked in Holy Scripture. But that awareness and the freedom to speak to it doesn't seem characteristic of Orthodox theology at the present time. And it should be, and it has to be.
Hi again, hope you enjoyed this episode from my interview with His Eminence Archbishop Alexander Golitzin. Please leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of this video, and please subscribe below so you can get notified the next time an episode becomes available, which happens every Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Did ears burn out those words? Did a voice whisper absurd? Did your mind comprehend and ask if you'd last till the end?